Welcome back everyone to more of our custom career mode and VR gameplay. And we're coming off of a race at Atlanta that had the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows. Let's start with the good. We had so much fun at Atlanta. I really hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. We had a chance to get right up on that high side and a few times very close to that wall, and we survived. No contact with the wall, at least while running the high side, that is. So that was so much fun. We were able to get right up inside the top 5. So we had a lot of speed, similar to what we showed at Vegas. All of that is the good. But you might be wondering, if you weren't with us for the Atlanta race, you might be wondering why the finish shows last. Well, toward the very end of the race, with about 10 or 12 laps to go, somewhere around there, we were coming off of turn 4, and the AI, I got the call that they went 3 wide. Now, at the point I got that call, I don't feel like there was enough room for 3 wide, and ultimately, that seemed to be the reality because they got in my left rear, and we went hard into the wall with the right front, pretty much ending our day. But that brought up a few different things. So that's the good and the bad of the race, but here's what we learned from Atlanta. Number one, the contact itself I consider to be a racing deal. They were being aggressive, they were trying to make up that spot, and there just wasn't quite enough room for all of us to make it off the corner where we were running on the track. So that's no big deal. That's going to happen. That's the first time that I can remember so far in the career that our race has ended like that, but I don't think it's going to be the last. So that's not really a big deal for me, but it brought to mind a couple of things. Number one, the speed that we showed at Vegas, we were able to show at Atlanta as well. We moved well up into the top 10 and then ultimately just inside the top 5. So is that going to be the new norm? Are we going to be much stronger in the trucks by virtue of the AI being much weaker than I had originally expected? We'll have to wait and see as we continue moving through the schedule. The next thing is something we talked about at the end of the Atlanta video, and that's the fast repairs. Once we came into the pits, I couldn't remember because I didn't know the default because I didn't really think about the fast repairs going into it, and it turned out we had unlimited fast repairs. That was the default in the option, so I immediately turned that off. We're no longer going to have any fast repairs available. If we have contact, then we're going to have to simply make the decision. Do we make the fixes? Do we take the time in the pits to make those fixes? Or is that simply going to be day end for us? Or are we going to try to live with it on the track and save that time in the pits? We're going to have to make that decision. So no more fast repairs. And then the other thing we talked about is the avoid me option. By default, it was off, meaning that the avoid me option makes it to where the AI will make every attempt to not make contact with us as the player. Now, you would think that would kind of be the default anyway, that the AI would not be trying to make contact with each other or us as the player, but it was off by default. And based on some of the strange behavior we saw at Atlanta, not the contact that ended our day, really. That was a racing incident. I'm referring to some of the weird behavior we saw through the quad oval as well as in the backstretch. So on the straightaway, I'm talking, they were weaving quite a bit and coming very close to us. And in fact, the initial contact we had in that race was because of that weaving back and forth they were doing on the straights or through the quad oval. So I decided to turn on the avoid me. Hopefully that will help with that, but we're not sure at this point. We'll just have to wait and see how it all works out. So I've already changed the drop down to race number 3. So our money is fine as we look ahead to our next race at Chicago. Chicago is a fantastic racetrack, plenty of room to race. It's a very wide track, similar to what we have at Atlanta. There's plenty of room to move around, which brings to mind for me, can we run the high side at Chicago? We were able to have so much fun at Atlanta. And again, I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did, being able to get up there and really flirt with those marbles and the excess rubber to try to run as close to the wall as we could reasonably get without pressing our luck too much. Can we do something similar at Chicago? Or what type of behavior are we going to get from the AI? How strong are they going to be? All of these questions are still remaining. P25 starting in the rear. Welcome everyone.
Follow car number 01 in the outside lane.
Welcome to Chicagoland Speedway. Let's get this thing going. Crowd looks amazing at the track today. Appreciate everybody coming out. For those of you joining us from home, appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully we're going to put on a great show for you today. We got 70 laps of hopefully amazing racing in store. We've got the caution clock in the top right-hand corner, or at least I hope we do. If we don't, it's going to change the complexion of this race, that's for sure. We'll need to make one pit stop, which should happen somewhere around halfway or so. That's what we've seen in the first couple of races. That's when the 20 minutes is done. Now this track for me has felt very different than the other mile and a half so far. This one feels almost tight and small. The word that came to mind when I was in practice was bullring, which seems weird to say about a mile and a half, but that's kind of the way it felt to me. It felt much smaller than the other mile and a halves, and certainly very different from Atlanta. So I continue to be amazed at just how different each of these tracks feel in VR, and I'm liking it.
Pace car's in.
All right, so we're just gonna come to a stop.
Green,
Go,
green,
go, go.
green.
There we go. Now let's get this thing going.
Outside.
All right, so I saw something in practice. Oh, look at that. They're not giving anybody any room on the high side. And that's what I saw in practice. These guys are running higher. Pretty much where the pacing line was for the guys on the outside at the start. And I was shocked. But I like it. So if they're up there,
Outside.
then that must mean we need to go down here.
Stay on the bottom.
Now the setup we're using is virtually identical to what we used at Vegas, which is still essentially the same thing as Atlanta. The only difference really is the track.
Got one outside. Keep to the bottom.
So I simply had to loosen it up from what we saw at Vegas. And the AI skill spread, the same as what we've been using, 110 to 125. So as always, anytime we get to a new track,
Stay on the bottom.
we'll leave that apron alone, that's for sure. You want to see how strong the AI
Just
are?
done 31.0, P24.
So we're not going to play follow the leader. We're going to see if we can make some speed down here.
On lap 23. It'll end on lap
And right now, there's
62.
not a lot to be found. All right, so where everybody's running up there, there is no rubber buildup. So the rubber is building up in the lower area where nobody's running except for the ones going 2 and 3 wide. That's a bit odd.
Outside.
Might raise some questions about how iRacing is doing this whole live track thing that they've got going
To the
on.
bottom. Good stop. Got one outside. Clear outside. Outside.
This track
Stay on the
is
bottom.
easily wide open
Good stop.
on new tires, particularly if you're
Outside.
alone on the track. Now you get into
22nd place.
traffic like we are right now, that changes things, and you can hear me. I'm definitely not wide open.
Stay on the bottom. Good stop.
Just trying to be really careful. Like right there, he told me I was clear. I didn't quite believe him though.
Got one outside. Clear outside.
So a little
Got
later
one
in the race,
outside.
this might change, but for right now, I'm just trying to play it safe.
Keep low.
Seeing what kind of speed we have, avoiding contact.
Stay on the bottom.
21st.
21st position. All right, so we passed a couple of cars anyway.
Stay on the bottom. Good stop.
All right, clear at the top
Going
once
outside.
again. Didn't believe him.
Stay low. Clear.
Truck is handling nicely. It's trending a little bit toward the tight side, so I'm thinking that maybe loosening it up a touch more would be good.
Outside.
Oh yeah, that was very good there. You hear me playing with the gas. Alright, yeah, we're 3 wide, trying to give these guys, again, plenty of room. We're early in this race.
Hold your line. Clear, clear.
Well, he was excited about that clear, wasn't he? Just as I was clipping the apron, losing some momentum.
P19.
But yeah, truck is handling quite nicely down here on the bottom. And that's good because with everybody running the top, I'm going to try to ride through the middle. Split the difference. Because part of saving these tires is just not following. Trying to keep as much clean air as you can. Alright, I'm going to need you guys to, there you go, part the seats for me.
Outside. Keep to the bottom. Stay on the bottom. You're on the bottom, 3 wide. Hold your line. Got one outside. Still there.
Well, that really helped us there. Timmy Hill came right down in front of the 22, breaking his momentum, helping us out.
P16.
Oh yeah, great run through the corner. Alright, that's good. Not quite clear like I want to be. Well, this early in the race anyway.
Got one outside. Keep low. Stay on the bottom. Still there. Good stop. Outside. Stay on the bottom.
Yeah, I'm liking the way this truck is handling.
Stay on the bottom. Keep to the bottom. Clear.
Okay, Brian, the next car is Hill.
Keep to the bottom. Good stop.
You can see, I mean, we're definitely making up some time here.
To the bottom. Clear outside.
P15.
Probably using up our tires some, but
Outside.
you can see it's fairly dark down here, which is not what you would expect, given that nobody's running down here but me most of the time.
Stay on the bottom. Good stop.
Ooh, right there on that 15.
Outside.
But see, that's what's really fun
Low.
in VR, because I can get a great view of that.
Keep low. Clear.
And try to use all of the available room that I can.
Keep low. Still there.
Alright, 15's making it very difficult on me here. He's really the first one that has really tried hard to block.
P13.
Alright, we're going to beat him to the spot down here this time.
Keep low.
Look at that. Look at that. Holding me down.
Clear.
Oh, that was awesome. That's exactly what he should be doing to maintain this position. And lo and behold, we're inside the top 15. All right, 15, let's see what I can do with you. I am not opposed
Keep digging.
to going high if you're going to continue to come down low.
Keep to the bottom.
Yeah, he's right there on my door. Mid-corner.
Clear
Doing
outside.
a
Car in front of us is
spectacular
great.
job. I also love the fact that he's moving around on the track. Part of that is he's trying to block.
Got one outside.
And part of that could be something I've seen at just a few tracks where they actually move around a little bit.
Still there. Clear outside.
Rhodes is now in the lead.
See how we like this high side. If he's going to go to the bottom and really try to fight us off,
That lap time was 32.9.
Got one outside.
we're going to keep fighting with him.
Still there. Keep to the bottom, clear to the top.
Look at that. I could do nothing with him. This is fantastic. This is great racing. And the truck just doesn't feel as good up high as it does on the bottom. So let's give it a few laps here. As long as he keeps
Brian,
going
lap
to the
time's
bottom.
pretty consistent.
I mean, I can certainly stay in the throttle more up here, but it just doesn't feel near as good.
Smith is leading the race.
All right, I need him to go to the bottom here.
Inside. Keep it on top. Clear inside.
Nope, didn't have the speed up there, just too tight.
Got one inside. Keep it on top. Still there. Still there.
I love it. He's using every bit of the track that he can,
Stay high.
and he is just, he's doing what I can't right now.
Stay high.
P13.
Clear. Inside. Stay right there.
Oh, so close. He is so close to being clear there. Now let's move down the track a little bit.
Keep high.
See if I can get my truck to handle
Rhodes is now
any
leading.
better, because that's really the problem I've got right now. Is that my truck just doesn't handle very good
Is now
on the top.
There's the bottom. Inside. Keep it on top.
But he is not going to go away.
Still there. Keep high. Keep high.
P12. That lap time was 33.0.
Oh, trying to stay in the gas. This thing is just getting tight. Now, okay, so we made the pass. Let's see if we can keep it now. Because he's going to come back. He's trying again. And I can't say I blame him, because I'm not quite sure that I'm actually faster than him.
Lap times are pretty consistent.
I'm leaving the bottom open because I can never be quite sure. I know he's going to the bottom, but I can never be quite sure that I'm clear. That's another one of those VR things. It brings in a whole different experience with, or am I clear or am I not? You have to think, am I going to believe that spotter? Alright, so now I've pulled ahead of him a little bit more, so I feel a little more comfortable about going to that bottom. And without looking at the lap times, I'm not real sure where I'm quicker, bottom or top. But the truck feels better on the bottom. Yeah, for sure it feels better on the bottom, which is an odd thing to say. You would expect it to feel better up top, since you're having to turn the truck less, be easier on the tires, all those things. One thing that doesn't appear to be happening is, I don't think we're catching, who is that, Stuart Friesen in front of us? He's still right behind us, following in our track, so he's still running the bottom. He's got to be one of the few. I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to where everybody was running, but
V12.
there's at least 2 grooves they're using. And this is the way it should be. This is the way it should be, at least this, at every track. Every track like this, anyway, where there's multiple grooves that you can run. I mean, obviously Martinsville is going to be a little different than that, but at these bigger tracks where there are definitely multiple grooves, I mean, here you can easily run 3 grooves and give plenty of room to everybody around you. All right, so he's back to our bumper again. Let's see, what lap? 27, starting 28. So the tires...
Lap times are pretty consistent.
The tires are definitely falling off here. I really do wish we had a little bit freer car. Oh, there's our 5-minute
Got one
warning.
inside.
Yeah, here he comes.
Keep it on top.
Not surprising. I can feel that the car is really falling off at this point. So we made it up inside the top 15. Let's see where we end up by the end of this 20-minute stint.
V13.
Inside. Clear inside.
Yeah, he drove back by pretty easily there. So now I'm going to have to make a decision. Am I going to continue going to the bottom, since that's more likely where he's going to go? And the answer to that is no. I don't want to go where he goes. I need to at least get half the truck out of his way so we can get a little bit of fresh air. So if he's going to run the bottom, then I want to be in the middle, at least. I may try out that high side, but right now, based on what I have felt so far, I feel like that middle is probably my best bet.
Pit
And I
window
see.
is open.
All right, so there you are. Means we're getting close to halfway because the pit window is open, meaning that if you pitted right now, you could make it on a full tank to the end of the race. All right, now he's pulling away. That confirms that we are definitely losing speed. All right, let's see where these guys behind me go.
Inside. Stay right there.
And I would imagine they're going to file by us pretty quickly here.
Go to Kraus. Ahead is now 0.1. You've just done a
Stay right
33.5.
there.
Oh yeah, he does not want that bottom.
Clear to the bottom.
Oh, I lost
Right
so
front
much
tires
speed
going out.
there. Yeah, tires are just not there now. And combine that with the fact that yeah, we've run that bottom, and while I definitely feel better down there, it certainly appears as though it is not the way to go for the tires. We're just falling off big time, and these guys are streaming back by us. Here at the end of the run. All right, so lap 33, so we can't be very far at all from the pit stop. A couple of laps or so. I'll be waiting for that 1-minute warning to flash on top of the screen and hope I don't get ran over in the meantime. Yeah, car's just gotten tight.
Inside. Keep high. Stay high. Clear inside.
All right, so we're riding it out. Doing everything we can to keep every position possible before this pit stop.
15th place.
15th? Not bad. I'll certainly take that. So we're not quite as strong here as we have been at the first couple of events. So the AI a little bit stronger here. At least based on the setup I'm running anyway. There it is. There's the 1 minute warning.
Okay, we're halfway to the finish.
Coming right at halfway.
Half distance. We estimate 11 laps remaining on this tank.
You can start to see the tire tracks of the AI up here in this upper groove. So it's definitely rubbering up here. Ooh, look out.
Stay right there.
These things handle the worst on the straightaway. And they don't give you a whole lot of room there.
17th place.
You could hear him right there. He sounded so disappointed. Like, what are you doing?
Race car's out.
All right, there it is. So 17th position after the end of the first stint. All right, so now we need to get caught up because pit road will probably be open next time by.
Pit road is now open.
So 17th position. I believe we're going to be in the last pit stall. That's where we should be after starting last. So that's what we'll hope.
Catch stop 25, job.
Because that's really the only pit stall that I will be able to even remotely see. If we find ourselves in the middle of this mess, I'll never be able to find our pit stall because I still can't see the lollipop until we get right on it. And without his countdown,
The leader, Smith, is pitting.
Catch stop 99, job.
Watch your speed. Pit lane speed limit is 50 miles per hour. We'll pull you to the end.
Box in 5, 3, 2, 1.
all right,
Right
we're
here.
right there. All right, here comes the rest of the field, driving right through us. I like it.
That's it, go.
All right, here they all come out. There's the 40/19. It's also the 18. That's a car we haven't seen before. So how many spots did we make up? I feel like we probably made up some spots.
Catch stop 40, job.
Now I'm interested to see how all this works out. So right now, in case you're wondering, I am not making any adjustments on pit stops. I do have some buttons mapped to my wheel, but unfortunately, I don't feel comfortable with all of that just yet here in VR. So we're just going to let it ride for now and stick with the same setup.
Okay, bud, green flag next time by. Line up on the inside.
Inside.
All right, Brian, get ready. Race
Ooh,
will resume
look
at
at
the
where
end of
we
this
are.
lap.
We're around the top 10. It says 9th. Wow. Okay, we made up way too many spots on pit road because I am not good on pit road. I know that. They know that. Yeah, and all of the AI are at 100% on their ratings for pit road. I'm not quite sure how this is all working out, that we're gaining spots like this each and every week. I was trying to avoid this. If anything, I wanted us to lose spots on pit road. But we are with a different cast of characters. I mean, there's Hocevar on the outside lane right up in front of us. We're right behind Chandler Smith, and we know he's got a hot rod.
Be ready.
All right, so here we go. About 30 laps left, so a little bit less on this set of tires.
Getting ready.
So when they drop the green, we're going to go for everything we're worth.
Pace car's leaving.
There you go, 18. Oh, no. And that's what I was worried about.
Green.
Let's
Spun
go.
the tires.
Top 10. Outside.
P10.
Keep to the bottom. Still there. Stay low.
All right, so we're wide open
Clear to the top.
through turns 1 and 2, and they're blowing by me. So that's a good sign. Oh, almost lost it. Yeah, so twitchy right now.
P11.
Outside.
Okay, Brian. That's good
Clear outside.
consistency. Keep it up.
All right, now that things are trying to sort out. Oh yeah, I mean, this thing's turning really good right now.
Got one outside.
Let's take it 3
Down
wide.
the bottom, 3 wide. Hold your line.
Smith is now in the lead.
Hold your line.
All right, you guys have some spots up here, and I want
Hold
them.
your line. Got one outside. Still there. Stay low. Clear.
This is wild right now because this feels like something like Daytona or something. Because every time I look up and just glance in the mirror,
Got one outside.
there is a truck just glued, or at least it feels
low.
like they're glued
Clear.
to my bumper.
You're in the top 10.
P9.
Oh yeah, there we go. P9, so we got back what we lost from me spinning the tires. Now we'll try to work on Matt Crafton and see if we got anything for him. But I absolutely love that action there after the restart, where everybody was just jammed up together trying to get everything they could. That's a lot of fun. So right now I'm trying to get everything I can before these tires really start to fall off, because we know our tires are going to fall off more than the AI. We already know that. We saw that in this first stint.
Outside. Clear outside.
All right, we're hanging with the 88 right now. Inside the top 10. We're able to hook this bottom.
Outside.
You can see we're making up some time on the 88. Now, can we get by? Is the next question. So close. Now that's going to bring the guys behind us back to us. All right, that's it. You guys just duke it out up there. That'll bring me right back to you.
Got one outside. Stay low.
All right, let's see what we can do down here now. I'm going to try to follow Parker as best I can. Ooh, had to get completely out of the gas there.
Still there.
All right, Parker, let's get going.
To the bottom.
This is our opportunity. We need to make it happen right here.
Still there. Clear.
Once again, I'm going to try to follow Parker.
Keep to the bottom.
P8.
Keep to the bottom.
Woo, that was close.
Stay on the bottom.
That was close.
Clear.
I really wasn't trying to pass him or take it 3 wide
Outside.
there. I thought he was coming down to the bottom with me, but he just
to the
didn't
bottom.
get there as quickly as I thought he was going to.
Clear.
Because by hurting his momentum, all that's going to do is hurt me. Because I'm trying to push him by. I'm getting deeper into the corner, and he's beating me off on exit a little bit. So, can't really say I'm terribly surprised by that. Alright, there you go, Parker. Get on through there. Clear him out.
20 to go to strike.
Now, Parker, that's not what I needed you to do right there. I needed you to get clear.
Stay on the bottom.
Alright, let's see what this 40 does.
Clear.
Is he going to run his normal line, or is he going to try to block?
Still there. Still there. Stay on the bottom.
P7.
P7. I like the sound of that.
Stay on the bottom. Good stop.
Oh, we got a great run through there. Let's take it. Let's take that top.
Inside. Clear.
Oh, I was going to the bottom. And he said inside.
Inside.
So you could also see Parker.
Clear inside.
You could see Parker blocking me a little bit there going through the corner. This is so much fun. I mean, this is a ton of fun right now. This is what VR is all about for me. Close racing. We normally only see this at the shorter tracks, but right now, Chicago is amazing. But being this close to this much traffic at one time, where you're following close behind another truck, and then you got somebody to your inside or outside, all of those types of things, it's a lot to get used to. Because every step of the way your brain is telling you that those cars are actually there. And so you're trying to avoid making contact with them. You're trying to get what you can get. I mean, it's a lot to it, and all of it is good. I'm happy to say that to this point, I've had no ill effects from VR, no motion sickness. A lot of the symptoms that I've heard people report that you could experience, I haven't experienced any of them. You know, the headset doesn't feel overly heavy on my head. The Quest really isn't a big headset anyway.
P7.
But I haven't experienced really any negative effects beyond the one obvious one, which is as soon as you take the headset off, your hair is all messed up, and your face looks like you've been wearing VR
Your
goggles.
last lap time was at 32.7.
But aside from that, I haven't had really any negative side effects. And I am very happy to be able to say that. Now this race is starting to get down to it. We're about 15 laps remaining. Of course, the caution clock is no longer an issue. If it hasn't turned itself off already, then it should have. But we're at a point where I'm expecting these guys to start running me back down. So we're going to see how that goes, but we are in 7th position. Miles ahead of where I thought we were going to be. So let's see if we can hold on to this. Parker is pulling away from us a little bit at a time, not by huge amounts, and I noticed that I believe that's Crafton behind us, and that he's creeping in on us a little bit at a time. But as long as it's just a little bit at a time, we're okay. What I'm hoping to avoid is where several of them pass you all within a few laps because they are making huge time on you. Of course, in iRacing, there's nothing you can do with the AI in their fall off because you can't adjust really anything other than what you've got for ratings.
Consistency, keep it up.
But I have to say, the racing here at Chicago has been fantastic. I'm looking for another way, another excuse to visit this track more often. That's what I'm looking for right now. That's how much fun I'm having here. The fact that the AI have moved around and some of them are running right up top while some of them are going to the bottom, like you see Parker in front of us. That's awesome. I absolutely love that. All right, so the 88 is there, and I believe there's one or two more trucks behind him that would love nothing more than to come by us. And they are getting close. So I'm trying to give them a little room because I never know exactly where they are.
Left to go.
Because they are all over me right now. So now they're side by side back there.
The gap in front has increased. It's now about 1.3 seconds.
To the bottom.
All right, so they finally got into my outside corner.
They're outside. Outside.
P8.
Oh, and that's Hocevar, so yeah, he definitely should have plenty of speed to get by me.
To the bottom.
One of the stronger trucks in this car set.
Stay on the bottom. Clear.
All right, clear. Looks like maybe we've got a little distance to the guys behind them. So we're just going to keep running our line.
Outside. Clear.
P9.
Yeah, I've got a little distance back there. I'm trying to back up my entry, but as I've mentioned many times before on this channel, that is my Achilles heel driving, is I push the entry too much. Not that that's the only mistake I make, but it is perhaps one of the most costly that I make, so I'm trying to back up that entry and get a better run on the exit. And so far it seems to be working. We're able to hang in pretty close with the 88. Tried a little bit higher line there. In through the center. Oh, here they come now. The Hounds are arriving. I could run this race all day long. I am definitely not getting sick of this. Just seeing cars all over the place is what I love. Some of them running right on the bottom, some of them running high. I mean, racing for position, all of that is just fantastic. That's what I want out of every track.
5 to go.
But the truck feels really good. If anything, it needs to be loosened up so that we can run that bottom a little better. But we're not equipped to run the top. An odd thing for me to say, but our truck is just much better on the bottom. I haven't compared lap times, so I can't speak to the actual speeds, but if feel is any indication, then we're a lot better on the bottom. Because I can bring it right down to the white line in the corner, let it rotate, get back to the gas, so much better. than I can up here on the top.
V9.
All right, those guys are coming. How many laps? All right, so just a few now. Just a handful.
Okay, Brian, lap times are pretty consistent.
I appreciate that. Really wish he would give me more updates on what's going on behind me. I have that set pretty high in the crew chief program, so I'm not sure why he's not really doing it. Has he done it at all
2 to go.
in this race? I don't remember him doing it. So I may have to check on that setting. Make sure that it hasn't defaulted back or something.
2 to go.
Alright, so as the 88 starts to pull ahead, I look behind us and definitely these guys they're here. But we got...
White flag, 1 more lap to go.
Yep, we got 1 more lap to try to keep them at bay. And I think they're actually running the bottom in the corner. So that means they're in my dirty area.
White flag, 1 more to go.
Yep, they're following me right to the bottom. All right, we need to bring it home right here. This has been a fun track to drive, a fun truck to drive, because the setup was pretty good. And overall, I will take it. That was a lot of fun. That was
And
a
there's
great
the
race.
finish. Good result, mate. Well done.
Hey, and even the crew chief
Great
liked it.
job, driver.
Even the crew chief liked our race and told us we did a good job. So we bring it home inside the top 10. That's why he likes it. He must have a bonus for every top 10 we get. So just inside the top 10, we'll bring it home. So we had the 40 behind us, and who else was it? 15. All right, so that's who else was out there. All right, guys, we're all going to the same place here. Race is over. All right, I'm actually going to pull it right over here and bring it to a stop. Again, thank you so much for everyone who joined in for today's race. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And stick around for more custom career mode and VR gameplay.